back to Twice as Fast, where we talk twice as fast, think twice as fast, pretty much do everything twice as fast because of all of our trauma. For New Year, I got laid off from my tech job about 2 months ago.
We're getting laid off?
And honestly, it was the biggest blessing in disguise. I had fallen into the worst burnout, which we're gonna get into. So I thought it was gonna be fun to dye my hair, because during my burnout, I let that go. I don't remember the last time I even got my hair done, and it's making it hard to even want to look at myself because the front of my hair is a completely different color. So she's going a little red, I'm of course going black.
And we're gonna talk about burnout,
because why does no one tell you what it is?
Or how to prepare for it, or anything, really.
Let's dive in. I'm a little nervous about her doing my hair because it has kind of turned orange before, but whatever. If you're wondering why my hair absolutely looks disgusting, I had to put a pre-color serum and it made it feel like straw. Let's talk about how burnout
Nearly killed me.
Let's back it up to me as a child. Little Mary with her curly hair. Okay, I had severe anxiety.
Preface, she was born prematurely and she almost was born 3 months prematurely. So whenever she came out, let's just say she had the shakes. Her nervous system has been Watuski'd since the beginning, okay?
My uncle why my mom was pregnant with me. So she almost had me early, and then when she did have me, I just couldn't stop shaking. So I'm convinced
there's something there.
I've been an anxious Annie my whole life.
It has been hell.
So that's like the anxiety part of my neurodivergence. We just thought that I was an extremely anxious person. Okay, I had a lot of social issues, a lot of bullying, but again, no one really thought anything of it. When I got to college, my anxiety was
horrible.
I spent my whole entire first year just
crying.
And I would come drive up every weekend and visit her because obviously we were having hard times being apart.
And I had no friends, really. Finally got on antidepressants and that helped, but it was still just like, something's different.
And something's different up here.
Do the roots first, huh? Doesn't say that, but Mom always says.
For shades 1.
That's not us.
We need to work it all in, but it's like this part needs to be, you think you know what to do? In college, I was just low-key crazy in terms of overproduction.
Wait. Oh, what?
Overachieving. Look, guys.
I will tell you this. We've always been type A, type B, and it's always just kind of been like, I can kind of slip through the cracks because type A is already succeeding.
Let me paint the picture.
In college, she never had a W, never had a withdrawal. She had a 4.0 all year. She was picked out of every honors student to be his assistant, which whenever I got to college, I got to become the assistant because, you know, she already set it up for me. She would study.
It's because it quieted my brain. And now looking back, I'm just like, I used school as an escape because it was probably the only way I ever got positive feedback about myself. I'm not even kidding. I think that's probably the only compliments I ever got. I killed myself in college. I was like, just go, 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 go. And then I get into one of the top grad programs, and that...
Oh, not the top, the #1 grad program.
I'm always going to be hyping her up because she's amazing.
So I get to that grad program. I wasn't in burnout yet because it was like, it was so hard. For the first time, I actually had a really good community. Just a very set schedule. Like my life was, I had a goal I was working towards. So everything just felt very like, okay, I know what I need to do. And if I do it, and I had very hard days. I had a ton of breakdowns, but overall it was like, I had a goal.
Flash forward, here's where the story really begins because this is when someone
Light a match on her.
and the burnout started burning.
Burnout started burning. When it first started out, kind of fine because I had been unemployed for so long, so I was like,
Okay, I can do this.
the first thing I noticed there with my neurodivergence was the people. I literally once had a coworker told me, I've never met someone that
Looks like you.
I was like,
Can we like expand on that?
make sure you really get this area. But as the work started to get harder, my manager that I love so much got laid off, and then I was pushed into like a whole different team.
No, you guys, I will just say, like, there's this one person that we were like, if you ever have to go under her, I don't know how we'll survive.
She's the reason my boss got laid off. So like she literally had like a vengeance, and I said if I ever had to go to her, I won't survive. Guess who became my manager?
Her.
The burnout excelled at this point.
Yeah, this is when the burnout excelled a lot because I was so scared of getting laid off, which, okay. This boss was just, she would schedule messages the night before to make sure that at 8 a.m. they were in my inbox, that I had, the first thing I saw was her name telling me what I had to work on and what I did wrong the day before. She'd get mad if I told people certain things. I had like all these rules, and part of my neurodivergence is I have a hard time understanding rules that don't make sense to me. Very much rules are ambiguous. Like if you say, I can tell some people something but not others, huh? And not knowing like what I could say to her because sometimes she was professional, sometimes she wasn't. It was just putting me into this like horrible place.
And half the time her manager would give her work and be like, honestly, you do the work twice as fast and you do it
She
correctly.
literally said I did twice as fast, so she made me do more work than someone a level above me getting paid. Who the hell knows how much more? And you let that girl take the credit. But everyone was working that same speed. No one tells you the rules of corporate. That's part of being autistic. Like, I just was like, if someone says I have to do something and they're who's paying me, I have to do it. I didn't know I could say no. I got to the point where I wasn't sleeping. I was waking up and throwing up, which I've done before in corporate, but it was severe. And it was just like, I was losing my ability to talk. That's what really made me be like, what is happening to myself? I thought I was losing my mind. Like, I would be in meetings and I would forget words. It was the weirdest thing, and it's something that still gives me PTSD when I think about it because it was so embarrassing. Overall, I just was like, okay, yes, like everyone at this company is saying it's hard and they're struggling, but they're able to go home and like be with their family. They always have weekend plans. They do all this shit. I get off of work and I cry and I think about
saying this kind of lightly, but like you guys, this past year, I called multiple family members saying like, I need help.
And I just didn't care. I just was like, I don't want to do this.
Every single day was like what everyone's worst day would be. I know you're gonna be like, why didn't you just quit? Why didn't you get out? I didn't know the severity of what autistic burnout even looked like and how detrimental.
And I also started to tell people that I thought I was autistic. I'll be honest, very few like took it seriously. They were like, I think in their mind, they're like, you've gotten these crazy good jobs, you've done all this, like you're not autistic. Guys, you don't see some of the things I'm embarrassed to even admit. I'll be pulling on my hair, I pick at my skin, have so many bad behaviors I do to myself that other people don't see so that I can show up for other people and pretend I'm normal. But like, I think if people knew the reality of what I was living, they would not know who I, like they'd be shocked.
I'll be honest, I didn't know how we were gonna get through it. Like there were so many days where I was just like, I can't do
And
this.
we still don't know. I was crying all morning. The other part I didn't tell you was, I mean, as if you've seen my other videos, you know my mom has cancer. So this year, her cancer has been so much worse. Like she's been in the ICU. She was so sick and we just didn't know what was going on. So like the stress of that and literally getting on doctor's calls and then hanging up and logging onto a meeting. I just feel like I literally feel like a semi-truck has hit me.
Slammed me down.
And right now, part of why I want to build this YouTube channel is because I can't go back to corporate. But also like, I just need somewhere to talk because I'm like, there's gotta be someone out there that gets it outside of this one.
Also, we have only seen like maybe 2 or 3 other creators who get it to a T. Like I bet there's other people feeling what we feel out there and they could use our advice and use our experiences because we don't want you to live this. We've done it so that we can share it with you and tell you how to get away.
So few women know they're even neurodivergent.
There's no test. All the tests have been on men.
Had I known going into corporate, I would have set it up so incredibly differently and would have felt valid in it. But because I haven't had a formal diagnosis, I didn't even figure it out till I was there. I just felt like I couldn't tell people. And again, no one really believes me when I talk about it. A few people I've told, like, they just kind of act like, okay, moving on. For me, it was like my whole life changed.
So many people don't understand how big the spectrum of autism is. So many people at my work that make stupid jokes that are so ignorant, but that's because they don't understand what autism is. They see it as whatever the movies have portrayed it as. That's so not
Same with
accurate.
burnout. Difference of like occupational burnout versus autistic neurodivergent burnout is you like are so burnt out at work, but you still like you're engaging in life. Like for me, my whole entire life was work. I'm just like I'm telling you, it was a year of misery. I don't even know if this is making sense to anyone, but truly, like if I could have seen someone just say that when they were in a meeting they forgot their words, I would have felt so much better. I literally felt like
I was losing my mind.
It's also just confusing because given the fact that corporate America is crumbling and everyone's getting laid off, it does seem like everyone's struggling this way. But if you are not able to cook for yourself, if you're not able to see friends, if you just cry, if you wake up and think, I don't know how I'm gonna move my foot out of this bed, like maybe look into it. And I wasn't always like this. Like that's what I think is what's hard for me to understand. When I had more support, I was functioning. And so it's hard for me to even like feel valid and I just feel lazy and I just feel like stupid. I feel so
stupid
all of the time when in reality, why do I feel stupid whenever I was doing everyone else's work? Like that's just the life of being an autistic woman.
Burnout is just so complex. Burnout is just so hard to spot and it's hard because
it's all happening internally. Like you're replaying conversations constantly. No one knows you're doing that. You get it telling yourself for 10 minutes to get up and go get some water because you haven't drank in 50 hours, but you literally can't. Like no one understands.
No one sees that side of it, I feel like. Everyone is just like, oh,
we're all tired. We're all exhausted. We all got a lot. And it's like, yeah, we're all tired, but I've had to think about every single sound I've heard today that's overstimulating. Replay conversations. I've had to script everything I had to script. I had to prepare before every meeting what I was exactly going to say. Like, people are not doing that now, too. Like, I'm trying to accept that this was legitimate, real burnout, neurodivergent.
It was.
And 2, trying to just tell myself it's not my fault that if I can't go back to corporate. Yes, I was successful and I did all of that, but it's like, I don't have to do it.
Being corporate though is not a failure. It's just a redirection and it's doing what's gonna actually help herself because we can't live this way. It was not sustainable. Look at us.
You just see everyone living this certain kind of life, so if you can't do it, you just feel like a failure and there's not any support to do it different. I've had coworkers that have said that they like are on ADHD medicine, so you think that they kind of get it, but then it's like, I've told them I'm really not well, I'm really like struggling. They were just like, well, why aren't you doing this? Right? It's like they still didn't get it. And that's when I was like, wait, it's not just ADHD, it's the tiz.
It's all of it.
It's all of it. Now going into creating content, I'm still finding myself struggling with those things and perfectionism. And even this video, I'm sitting here right now thinking, why would anyone care to watch this? But that's something I'm breaking out in my we're releasing, as I say. I'm releasing that. I just want to not turn this next dream of mine into another
nightmare.
Something that one of my autistic therapists that I used to go to said, you have to just allow yourself to live a different life. Allow yourself to rest if you're really burnt out. You have to allow yourself to consider people on the internet, your friends, if you don't have friends in real life, you know? That's something that's harder. That's way easier said than done. It's just every single thing about me just did not fucking fit.
Always just felt like you were other, but it really was just you're you. And people don't know what it's like when someone's different. It's so strange.
Thanks for watching. We feel so much better now. Just kind of an introduction to neurodivergence and burnout. We got a lot more to talk about. But if you resonated with this, follow along because we still got to figure it out ourselves. Was I crying this morning and felt like I had no energy for this? Yes, but you know what? That's the reality of figuring out who the fuck I am at 30. Some days are hard. And I'm gonna share that with you guys, even though it feels like I'm a big baby. Twice as fast as him. Twice as burnout as the average person. Twice as worried as the average person. Twice as just wanna feel some serotonin.